So, after making this morning's video, having postponed this one that I wanted to do to start with, I'm going to tell you briefly about my irredeemable win at the Manhattan Chess Club in 1993. There's a lesson in this somewhere along the lines. I don't know what it is, but there's a lesson in it somewhere. You can glean from it what you will. 1993, I moved to New York. I had $173 to my name. I had a friend up there. I had a fucking couch to sleep on, and I stayed for 7 years and worked pretty much nonstop the whole time I was up there. Making very little money, but learning quite a lot. You know, back then, I would recommend anybody, everybody, do at least a year living in New York or Paris or Berlin or some equivalent city. Dublin? Within the first 3 weeks, it was 3 weeks into my 1993, I was still very new to Manhattan. And as a young man, as a kid, as a child, I played chess. And used to, think of myself as a decent chess player. And then through, middle school, I continued doing it in chess clubs and things like that, and a few little things here and then, a little bit less in high school. And then by the time college rolled around, I was on to other things, high school and college, towards the end of my senior year and my junior year in high school. But I still enjoyed the game, still loved the game. When I got to New York, I knew that, Brighton Beach had the Russians up there. You could play speed chess in Central Park. New York is kind of a mecca for people outside the city who play chess. So, placed one of the things, several things you wanted to do when you went to New York as somebody who appreciated good chess. And one of those things was to visit the Manhattan Chess Club. And so I did. I took my little bag with my roll-up vinyl fucking board and my double-weighted fucking plastic set, and I went to the Manhattan Chess Club. I never used the clock. I hated the clocks things, but I was just good enough at chess to be dangerous. What does that mean? It means it wasn't that good, but I was like an idiot. I thought I was better than I was. It's been a long time since I played, and I went to the Manhattan Chess Club. The Manhattan Chess Club is legendary. It closed in 2002. It had been around since 1877 or some shit. I mean, Bobby Fischer played there. All the greats played there. They filmed Searching for Bobby Fischer upstairs in the Manhattan Chess Club. The upstairs is the really nice area with the overstuffed fucking leather chairs and the smoky fucking wood-lined rooms and the fireplaces and shit. And downstairs, which is what's open to the public, they have these tables, some benches and some chairs, pictures lining the fucking walls. There's a little fucking a little merch stand where you can buy merch. I say I was at I went to the fucking, my friend went to New York and all I got was a stupid Manhattan Chess Club hat. Stuff like that. Chess sets and this, so forth and so on. I just want to say, for those of you who are chess aficionados, I'm going to put my stamp on this and tell you that, in my opinion, the best player to ever have played from the United States or anywhere else was Bobby Fischer. He was the shit. He will always be the shit, in my opinion. And had he continued with his career, there would be no doubt. But of course, we know he won the world championship, and then there were some issues. He said things about Jewish people, and that was it. People said it was taxes and this bullshit. He said some stuff that certain people didn't like, and so he had to go away. I think it was Spassky. Don't quote me, but I think it was Boris Spassky or someone who was pissed because he lost the championship to the Russian. And I think he was the first, maybe he was the first American to be world champion. But he beat him in such a way, it just was humiliating. And then, of course, he had to go away. And he was gone for a long time. And the Russian never got over it. And finally put up a bunch of fucking money calling him out, calling Bobby Fischer out, saying, God damn it, you got to come out of hiding. I'm not going to take this L. It's irredeemable. Come out here and get this fucking... Here's the money. Here's the prize. Out from the fucking woodwork pops fucking Bobby Fischer. All scruffy looking and shit. And he goes to Moscow. And he accepts his challenge. And he beats the shit out of him. Takes his fucking money, his rubles, whatever the fuck it was at the time. And just disappeared once again. And then, of course, we couldn't let that go because he was, the Soviet Union was the enemy, so we had to attack him for that. Had he been allowed, had he kept his mouth shut, had he been allowed to go on about his career, he would have been world champion God knows how long. Bobby Fischer was just different. He was just different. And I'm sure anybody who knows chess knows, You're going to have your arguments. You're going to say Magnus. You're going to say, whatever, whoever you say. And that's all well and good. But Bobby Fischer was just different. And so, like a dumbass hick from the sticks in Virginia, I go to fucking New York, and one of the things I've got to do with my stupid little bag and my little final fucking board is go to fucking Manhattan Chess Club. And so I did 3 weeks into my stay there. And this is where I got my irredeemable W. And I'm going to tell you all about that. I go in, and you can only go downstairs as being a non-member. Upstairs, the 2-3 floors above it, they're for real members, members of the club. So I'm down there with a bunch of people in this big open area. And, of course, you got stuff on the walls. You're looking at all the fucking memorabilia. You're looking at all this stuff. Wow, this is history. This is history. But, of course, it's there for the tourists. It's there for people from the sticks like myself who see themselves as a chess player. And so there's like 40 or 50 people. This is a Saturday. I'm working at this time, so I have to go on a Saturday. So it's a lot of people, a lot of tourists. But you can tell, leaning up against the wall are people who don't look like the rest of us. They're people from upstairs. They're the real fucking members. And there's like 6 or 7 of them. They're all men. And one of them is short of stature. He's about 4'3", and he clearly suffers from Down syndrome. And he's way on the spectrum, I'm guessing. Well, I know, because I played him a game. And so I'm coming in, I'm looking around, I'm looking like I'm a tourist. And I'm looking at games, and I'm looking at people playing. And again, there's like 40 or 50 people, but this table's open. And all of a sudden, this little tug, I look up and down, and there he is, the 4'3" guy with Down syndrome, looking at me. Want to play? He picks me out of the crowd. I guess because I'm tall and, obviously I don't belong there. So he's like, want to play? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Okay, good. Well, okay, yeah, let's play. So we sit down. Now, I'm figuring he's probably a member because he was hanging out with the people who look like members. Just kind of there watching the crowd. We sit down to play. And as we're playing, I'm kind of looking around at the crowd. I'm watching the board. He's a bit obnoxious, but he's not terribly obnoxious. He's not like some, guys in jail when they're playing tunk or they're playing fucking spades, taking the cards and pow. He's not doing that shit. But he's close. He's expecting to just wipe this tourist off the fucking map and show him up. So I'm kind of looking around and I'm watching him and I'm watching the game and I see something and so I fork his fucking queen and his rook. And he didn't expect that. He's pissed. He's pissed. He's livid. I get his fucking rook and now I'm kind of focusing on him. And he's still like, being really flamboyant at 4'3" tall in his spectrum way. And he makes a move. I pin his fucking queen to his king, and that's the game. He is so fucking mad. He is so fucking mad. He's like, ah, pow! And he slams the fucking table. It not only messed up our game, of course, pieces go over, but 2 other fucking games on the same table. Their pieces are all fucked up. Everybody's looking at me. Now everybody's looking at me. I'm 26, 27. I'm 6'4", 229 pounds. And here I have pissed off this 4'3" dude on the spectrum. And he's like, ah, pow. And he's calling me all these fucking names. And he jumps up, but he's the same height when he jumps up as he was when he was sitting down. And he's like, and he's calling me all these names. And he's like, tears are coming down his face. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm looking at him and I'm mortified. I've been there 3 weeks. I'm fucking mortified. And all these people are looking at me. Like I'm like, what? I couldn't help it. I had to pin his goddamn queen to his king. He gave it to me. He tears. He runs to the bathroom. He runs back. This is his set, by the way. Mine's still in the bag. So there I am, and all these people are like looking at me like, what the fuck? You can see the disappointment in their faces. Like, God damn it. I didn't. He's a member. So I picked up his pieces and I started putting them back on the fucking board. And I look over and I can see that now 6 or 5 guys that belong upstairs are still there leaning up on the fucking wall looking at me. So everyone's back to playing, and all of a sudden he comes out of the bathroom. Now, a couple people had gone back into the bathroom to comfort him, right? After his little tantrum. Believe it or not, that's not the irredeemable win. A number of them come out, after him. He comes out with a purpose. He is now controlled. He comes right out, and I'm looking. He comes right out, walks around the thing, comes right down the hallway, the space between tables to me, and puts his hand out. And he said, "Good win. Can we play another?" He was gracious. So what could I say? Of course, I said, of course. Thank you. I shook his hand. I said, thank you. And he sat down immediately. I said, okay. I had picked before the hand thing, and I picked white. So I let him be white. Okay. And he was focused. He was laser focused. We sat down, and we started to play. And I could tell... there were people who were playing their games, but they were doing this shit with me. They were waiting to see what the fuck I was going to do to him this time. They were like, you're not going to do that again. You have learned. You are a tourist, but you're not a fucking imbecile, right? So we start playing. And again, I'm just good enough to be dangerous to myself playing chess. We start playing the game, And the 5 guys are now 8 guys from upstairs. And they're watching. And, I mean, they're watching from across the room, but they're watching. We're playing the game. And God, Jesus, it was like I was playing a different dude. He wasn't, doing the bow stuff. He was fucking, he was an Iceman. The little 4'3" dude with Down syndrome was Iceman. He was solid. He was focused. He knew what he was playing. He's a member, goddammit, and he lost to a fucking tourist from the sticks and got his ass beat because he was just fucking around. He underestimated me. Now, he had a purpose, and that little fucking dude beat my motherfucking ass. At first, I was like, okay, well, I don't want to have that same mistake. But then my pride was getting to me. I'm like, this little dude with Down syndrome, no, I'm not going to. So I'm not throwing the goddamn game. He wipes me the fuck off the goddamn board. I had like half my power pieces sitting on the side of the table, and I think I had gotten 1 or 2 of his pawns, and that was it. He just decimated me. He destroyed me. Because he's a fucking, he's probably 1900 rating or some shit. He was 2000 or whatever the fuck it is. He was up there. I was not. And he just wiped the fucking board with me. I was like, God damn it. I extended my hand when I did. I could tell people were like, okay, he learned his lesson. I extended my hand to him. And he's like, I ain't shaking your hand. You're my bitch. He started going off like a fucking lunatic, calling me his bitch, calling me all this stuff, calling me a punk, telling me to get back to the sticks. He was a worse winner than he was a loser. He was just hopping up and down, happy as shit. He was happy as shit. And there I had to sit there and take it. I had to sit there. I couldn't say anything to him. You can't say anything to him. You can't get up and beat his ass. He's 4'3". So you got to take it. You got to take it. It was the worst. It was the worst chess loss of my life. Oh my God. So I graciously said, thank you very much for the games. I got to go. He wanted to play a third. I'm like, no. I lose whether I win or lose. I'm done. That's it. Thank you very much. Look at the time. Look at the time. So he's still fucking celebrating. He's still hopping up and down for beating the fucking tourists from the sticks. I swear to God. And I'm walking out with my head down because now I've just gotten beaten by this fucking, by this horrible fucking winner and loser. So I'm walking out. You can still hear him behind me. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. I'm looking over and I'm seeing there's now 6, 7 fucking guys from upstairs. And they don't say anything. And you can still hear him ranting behind me. And there's noise going on. The rest of the people at first were like, what the fuck? And then they kind of now they're hubbub. And I'm looking over as I'm walking out. And all of them, all 8 of them are like this to me. They think I threw the fucking game to make him feel better. They're like, good job. And what did I do? I went like this. I stole that little bastard's victory from him. I let them think his colleagues from upstairs, I let them think I threw the goddamn game and gave it to him. When he beat my ass fair and square. That, boys and girls, is my irredeemable W. I stole a win from a 4'3" guy with Down syndrome. Way on the spectrum. That's shameful. That was fucking shameful. But he had it coming. He did. Because, I don't know what you know about people who play competitive chess regularly. I don't anymore. I didn't really then. I wasn't competitive. I'm not pretending to be something I'm not. I got my ass kicked by a 4'3" guy with Down syndrome on the spectrum, who, by the way, was a good player. He whooped my ass. But I stole a win from him. And if you know anything about competitive players, you'll know this. You will know this. As I walked up the steps, because this is down in the basement, near Restaurant Row, and left, it occurred to me what's going to happen. And I laughed all the way home. Because what's bound to happen is this. He, at some point in time, is going to be upstairs playing the real players. And he, at some point in time, is going to piss off one of these real players because he's a really bad sport. And they're going to bring up the, you know that 6'4" tall tourist from the sticks that beat you? I beat his ass. I came back and beat his ass. No, you didn't. He let you win. That's bullshit. No, he did. He did. He let you win. What? They're going to throw that shit back in his fucking face, and it's going to steal that little fucking win. It's going to steal that win from him and give it back to me and put it right back in my pocket. And I couldn't be happier. I was laughing the whole way back to my house. And that's so mean. It's irredeemable. It's awful. But I did it. What was I going to do? Walk over to him and say, no, he actually beat my ass. Fuck that. It's terrible. But that was my... I never went back, needless to say, to the Manhattan Chess Club. I haven't played a lot of chess since. I did online for a little while, but then that was it. But I'll never forget that. That was my experience at the Manhattan Chess Club. I found Bobby Fischer's illegitimate child. I found Bobby Fischer's illegitimate child. He beat my ass, and I stole the W. And that is my irredeemable W story from the Manhattan Chess Club. I thought I'd share it with you. Have a good one.